What up? So, I'd like to weigh in on the research coming out of Carnegie Mellon. The article here is from ScienceAlert.com. I am one Sir Grove, OSGOE, and this is Casting 495 Celebrities Worldwide. So I'm reading this article here. I'm a math researcher, cryptologist. That is just someone who studies numbers day in, day out, and code systems. That's what I do in my spare time. And nerd power. So I'm reading this article that is by Peter Dockrill, Dockrill, dated 25 December 2019. And the title of this article by Peter Dockrill is, quote, "Math Genius has devised a wildly simple new way to solve quadratic equations." And again, this is from ScienceAlert.com by Peter Dockrill, dated today, 25 December 2019, stardate, "Math Genius has devised a wildly simple new way to solve quadratic equations." So I was wrong, so allow for me to redact what it is that I had said the other day in my podcast regarding this professor that is discussed herein, who is, I believe, a Professor Loh, and it says that it does. Po Shen Loh, L-O-H, last name, first name, P as in Papa, O dash, S as in Sierra, H-E-N as in November. Po Shen Loh. I thought that he was from MIT. I was incorrect. I, one Sir Grove, made a mistake. I was wrong. It says that he's from Carnegie Mellon University. Carnegie Mellon University. Shout outs to Carnegie Mellon University and MIT. So, yeah, this article it's ultra rad, because I would like to expound upon it. I would like to discuss it in depth. So, this may seem insignificant, trivial, completely irrelevant to all of y'all, or maybe some of y'all. But if you like numbers, if you like math, if you like science, engineering, technology, what I like about this article is that, as I had said some podcast episodes ago, by the way, if you are true fans of this show, then IWE495 most certainly appreciate you. That is chill. And so I was talking about how this professor, similar to this article, I had read in some other articles about this particular professor, mistakenly, after which I thought sometime again thereafter, I was like, yeah, the MIT professor, but he's not, as it turns out, from MIT. I was just wrong about that. And so now that I've emphasized that and I've cleared that up, that he is evidently from Carnegie Mellon, one of the things that I did talk about that I did get right from what I had read, and again corroborated by this particular article, is that, as Peter Dockrill points out, let me see, which paragraph is it here? Scrolling. Hold up. Oh, one of those ads that just popped up. Fucking stupid bullshit. All I'd like to do is just view the data. Fuck your ad. I mean, I'm just saying, it doesn't matter who it is. I'm just saying, like, yo, fuck your advertisement. Like, I just want to see the data. That's all I want to fucking see, dude. That's all I want to see. All right. So what it says here is that Loh, Professor Loh, I'll just summarize it because for whatever reason, with these stupid fucking advertisements. It wants to go like slow, and it's like it wants to play around and like play some fucking games. So basically what Professor Lowe was saying was that he, and again, this is according to Peter Dockrell's story on Professor Lowe. He was saying what I was saying. Professor Lowe was. I said in the podcast, if you listen to it, previous podcast, I was saying that there are a lot of different algorithms that are hidden in plain sight. Things that are right in front of us that we were never taught. Shortcuts, different cut-throughs, different patterns, different techniques and methods that can be used, utilized, employed. But we've never been taught them, and very few people on the planet even know that they exist, if anyone even currently does know that they exist. And so Professor Lowe was going on to say that when he discovered this new way, this cut-through, shortcut, this new algorithm in which to solve for quadratic equations, that he finds it hard to believe. He finds it hard to believe that someone else hasn't figured this same thing out. And so, what Peter Dockrell points out is that there was and has been someone who provided Professor Lowe with evidence that similarly there is a parallel paper that was written, some decades ago or like 20 years ago or something like that. Again, don't take my word for it. I can't remember the exact timeline there. But that there apparently is written somewhere. There is some research that shows clearly that another person had indeed found, they said that it was almost identical research to that of Dr. Lowe's. So the algorithm has existed, but if it's existed, which it clearly has, because now there are two papers, one by a Dr. Lowe and then a paper by another person preceding Professor Lowe's paper. So if there have been these ways to solve quadratic equations outside of, what we're told are like 1, 2, 3, 4, say, alternatives, if there's been this like revolutionary other way to solve quadratic equations for as long as there has been, why have we not been taught the way that Dr. Lowe figured out how to perform the calculation and is to solve the quadratic equations? And the other math researcher who predates Dr. Lowe, why is it that based on, that person's findings, why wasn't, even with that first person's findings, why was that not, put into mainstream society's like textbooks so that when we were learning how to solve quadratic equations, it did not say, oh, you know what? For like however long, this is how we did it. But look at this professor's like shortcut method. Like, see how much easier it is? Like, why? Do you follow me on that? So not only has Professor Lowe like rediscovered that there's this shortcut to solving quadratic equations, but as it turns out, there's another document out there that predates Dr. Lowe's by, I can't remember because this thing is fucking playing games here. As I'm trying to bring up the information, it just wants to play some fucking stupid goddamn fucking Google games. You know how this shit works. Fucking just wants to play games. Anyway, so I'm not going to stress it. But, hold on, let me see. Let me type this. Dr. Po Shen Lowe, professor of mathematics. And here we go. Says that he's associate professor of mathematics at Carnegie Mellon University and currently the national coach of the United States International Math Olympiad team. All right, he's 37 years old, born 18 June 82, nationality American, doctoral advisor is Benny Sudakov, and he was, that is Professor Po Shen, Professor Po Shen Lowe, was educated at, looks like California Institute of Technology. and that he had been at James Madison Memorial High School prior to that. So let's click, that's from Wikipedia too, by the way. Let's click on news, and all right, so it says Popular Mechanics, Daily Mail, MIT Technology Review. All right, so it looks like there are 3 articles that come up right away. I want to see the one from fucking today. But let's look at the one from Popular Mechanics and just see what that says real quick. Let us remain or iceberg. For those of you who are woke. Let me see. So it says, I'm looking at Popular Mechanics. This is from 6th December, so 19 days ago, roughly, by Caroline Delbert. And, okay, so let's see if she points out that that there was someone who had solved this as well prior. Okay, so it says, quote, Dr. Lowe's method, which he also shared in detail on his website, uses the idea of the 2 roots of every quadratic equation. All right, and then I'm scanning through to see if she, again, points out. Now, so she doesn't seem, unless I'm wrong, she doesn't seem to point out here as did the author from today, that there's another paper that predates Dr. Lowe's. Now, I scanned through her article, and perhaps it is there, and I just didn't see it. So don't quote me on any of the fucking shit that I have conveyed here. But I am trying to get to the bottom of it, because it is something that one ought to know. Because you just have to question. At least I do. You have to question shit. Like, if these 2 professors or math researchers, mathematicians, if these 2 mathematicians have clearly figured out shortcuts to solving quadratic equations, aside from the traditional ways that a person can, why, again, are we not shown in school this method that Professor Lowe has rediscovered? I mean, doesn't that seem it's almost as if the educational system, because clearly, as Dr. Lowe pointed out, people have to fucking know. Dude, the NSA, the whole point of this podcast episode is that the National Security Agency, I read some years ago, like 20-something years ago, is like the number one, it's the largest employer of mathematicians at one particular organization, like, in the world. Like, there is no other organization that employs more mathematicians than the National Security Agency, NSA. So NSA dwarfing CIA in terms of human resources. I mean, NSA is fucking huge, man. And there are more mathematicians there concentrated at 1/8. And I'm not saying just at Fort George Meade. I'm saying the global workforce for NSA is like the largest concentration of mathematicians in the whole fucking world. Somebody else had to know of this shortcut method. Dr. Lowe says that. That's what the article says. The first one that I referenced, and clearly there's another researcher out there who knew that as well. So it's like the system. It's like the system is dumbed down intentionally. I mean, think about it, man. For all of these kids and young adults who struggle with math, why is this shit? I mean, does it seem hidden to you? Like these secret systems to like quickly solve math? problems, the shit seems hidden to me. It really fucking does, because clearly the government, NSA, has to know of these same shortcuts. You can't tell me that out of the National Security Agency, there isn't one fucking mathematical scientist who doesn't know the same shit and who didn't know the same shit as Professor Lowe. We have evidence that there are 2 scholarly papers that have been written on the subject. So it's like, come on, dude, stop fronting. Come on, shadow government. Why don't you want for the masses and like most students in mainstream society to know of these cut-throughs, like these shortcuts? It just seems really fishy. Really fishy. So if there are shortcuts to solving quadratic equations that are, in some sense, as I have postulated, hidden away from mainstream society, what else is, man? Classified mathematics. This is what I was talking about the other day. Classified mathematics. There are so many hidden field equations. There are so many things that are hidden in plain sight that, in contrast to what we were taught traditionally, they're right here, man. All kinds of algorithms, all kinds of breakthroughs in science, math, technology, engineering. It's all right here, but it's being hidden. It's almost as if like the growth of like humanity is being controlled, like the evolution of like human technology is being in some way like controlled. I wonder why.